Let there be light. Hi, I'm Aaron, and welcome to the Call of Cinema. You're watching this. It's a pre-tape video, and it'll be coming up later on today. Well, not today. When I'm taping this, it'll be the next day. If you're part of my Patreon channel, then you've seen these already because they'll be shown live on my Patreon video tonight. First off, big thanks to Dustin, who sent these as a birthday gift for me, and I'm super stoked to talk about and unbox all three of these for the very first time. Dustin, I will send you a link personally to this video, so you'll have it before it goes live with everybody else, which is only fair. So these are three titles from the Easter Carnage sale. Dustin reached out to me, asked me if there's anything that I wanted from the sale that I couldn't get. So what I did is I just basically said, okay, here's a list of stuff. You can choose one from them, and he was very generous and sent me three really cool titles, which we're going to talk about here today on the channel. So this is the Easter Carnage sale. This is the Feral Bunny. And apparently if you got this, I'm still waiting for my own titles to come that order from Arrow. Those still haven't shown up. Hopefully they will next week. If not, I'll give Arrow, I'll contact them, see how they are with that. So this went on from March 30th to April the 13th. And you look inside, and there's a little kind of game thing that you can play. Easter releases coming soon. The Battle Royale set, I really got to get that one. That looks so cool. And apparently somewhere on here, I haven't got a chance to look at it a lot yet, but there is clues for upcoming releases. So we will check that out. I'll probably check that out in the live vid. But right now, what I want to do is because I'm so excited, I want to unbox these three releases and talk a bit about them. So we'll start off with the Blu-ray first, and it is a Dario Argento release. I'm so excited about this one, and this is Phenomenon. So for those that are unaware, Phenomenon is the first film that Argento did without any family help, any familial help. So this was his first on his own. Now there are three cuts of this film. There's the 160-minute Italian cut of the film, the original cut, which is this one right here. There is a 110-minute cut that was done, and I think that was cut not by Argento, it was cut in France. And there is an 83-minute cut, which if you've been in North America and you don't have any of these other releases, you probably saw it under the name Creepers, which was the name that went under, I think New Line actually put that one out. And Jack Shoulder, I think, did the cut for that one there. So when it comes between the 160-minute and 110-minute cut, there's not a lot of difference. The cuts are very minimal and actually are pretty good. I prefer the 116-minute cut. I like the original Italian cut. Now, but for a long time, the 160-minute cut usually meant you were going to watch it in Italian. Now, one thing about Phenomenon is that it was filmed in English. So you got Donald Pleasence and Jennifer Connelly in there, and they actually speak in English. So Michael McKenzie was tasked with the job of taking the 160-minute cut and actually, doing it in English with of course, the other 6 minutes that were in Italian wouldn't have English audio, but to do it correctly. Now, previously, the way it had been done is basically chunks of the movie would just be differently, would just have the Italian stuff put up. If you got the old version of this that Arrow put years ago in the window box, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is a brand new 4K restoration of the film with Michael McKenzie going in and editing this, looping things up as correctly as possible to give you the most definitive edition of Phenomenon that you will ever get. Feature-wise, on here, there is also a new 5.1 surround mix of the Italian soundtrack and lossless DTS HD master audio from the original 4-channel Dolby stereo elements, which is excellent. We know it's a 4K restoration with the OCN, I just mentioned that. Italian soundtrack and lossless PCM 2.0, English subtitles for the Italian soundtrack, optional English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. For the English soundtrack, new audio commentary by Troy Haworth, author of So Deadly, So Perverse. A new feature-length documentary of Flies and Maggots. Now, for those that do have, and I did have the previous older release, I'm really glad to have this one upgraded. There was a Monkey Business release. It was around 15 minutes long. This is a feature-length documentary of Flies and Maggots. It'll be interesting to check that out. Speak with people like Dario Argento, Fiora Argento, Dario Nicolodi, the late Dario Nicolodi. Franco Frini, who was the co-writer of the film, cinematographer Romano Abani, just a whole ton of people. Lucio Cozzi is on here, of course, and special makeup effects Sergio Stevoletti. Yeah, a bunch of people. There's the Jennifer music video, directed by Dario Argento, original Italian and English theatrical trailers, rare Japanese vintage press book, I'm actually excited about that, a reversible sleeve featuring original and newly commissioned artwork by Candace Tripp. So let's go into ahead and open this, because I'm kind of curious to see what the booklet on the inside looks like. So a lot of these open up like if you've ever smoked like a cigarette pack, because there's like this, or like the cigarette packs I used to get in the back in the day when I used to smoke. I don't smoke anymore. I stopped smoking before the birth of my, just gonna open them like this, of my first, and I never really took up the habit again. I guess I wasn't really smoking them, was I? So as you can see right here, with it so much glare in it, there is Phenomenon. I love this cover. We'll open it up here, and so there's no booklet. So this is the second pressing of the film, which I'm okay with. So there's Sailor Suit and Machine Gun. So there's an upcoming Arrow video release. Actually, kind of cool. I love this card, and there is also the alternate artwork here as well. Now, this initially had a 3-disc release that had the other 2 cuts of the films on there, but this is the definitive cut for me, so I'm good with this until like they put it in 4K. Then I'll have both of them, because I like to have my Argentos in Blu-ray and 4K if I can possibly do it. I'm a really big fan of Argento that way. All right, next up is Pitch Black. This was Arrow Video's very first 4K release. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, hey, didn't they put out Flash Gordon first? Well, they did, yes. But see, Arrow Video got their 4K restoration from Studio Canal for Flash Gordon. This is the very first 4K release that Arrow Video did on their own. So this was letting people know exactly what they could do with their 4K releases. Now, I've heard some great stuff about this, especially the darks in this. Often when you get a movie like Pitch Black, and it's like, it's called Pitch Black, there's a lot of dark in it. There's a concern that they can over darken it, which can sometimes be done if the restoration just isn't done correctly. Now this one here was shot on 35mm back in 1999, I think, somewhere around there. So you'd expect, like, if this is with a faithful reproduction of 4K restoration, you're going to be looking at like some pretty serious grain on here, which is what you would get, and you should assume that means that they've done a good job. So there you go. We get a brand new 4K restoration of the film, both the theatrical and the director's cut of the film, approved by the director. We get the 4K UHD Blu-ray presentation and Dolby Vision. Wow, okay. HDR10 is compatible. You get DTS HD MA 5.1 surround on both, which is what was initially on the Blu-ray release as well. But it's a really good sound. As not the Blu-ray release didn't have a great picture, but had great sound, so it's okay to have that. Optional English subtitles for deaf and hard of hearing as well. Archive commentary with the director and stars Vin Diesel and Cole Hauser. Archival commentary with the director, producer, and visual effects artist. Nightfall: The Making of Pitch Black, a newly filmed interview with the director and co-writer of the film. Black Box: Jackie's Journey, a newly recorded interview with actor Rihanna Griffith. Black Box: Shaz's Last Journey, a newly recorded interview with actor Claudia Black. Black Box: Bleached Bypassed, a newly recorded interview with cinematographer David Egby. Black Box: Cryolocked, a newly recorded interview with visual effects artist Peter Chang. Black Box: Primal Sounds, with the composer. The Making of Pitch Black, a short behind-the-scenes featurette. Pitch Black Raw, a comparison between early CG tests and the final footage. Additional behind-the-scenes footage from the making of the film. 2004 archive bonus features, including an introduction by the director, a view into the dark, and the Kronz Riddick visual encyclopedia. John's Chase Logs, a short prequel narrated by Cole Hauser, detailing the character's hunt for Riddick. The Kronz Riddick Dark Fury. This is actually kind of cool, and it does have the DTS HD MA 5.1 audio with 16:9 widescreen, which basically it's an animated short film that acts as kind of as a bridge point between Pitch Black and Kronz Riddick, which of course was the sequel to this film. I wish it would have got Crunch Critic. Hopefully that'll be a release in the future, because I did like that film. Bridging the Gap, Peter Chang, The Mind of an Animator, A View special offering, View into the Light, pre-animation version of the film, Slam City, a motion comic from the film's official website, Into Pitch Black, TV footage of a TV special offering, and there we go. TV special offering an alternative non-canon glimpse into what happened before and after the events of the film. Rave World Pitch Black event, footage of a dance music event held to promote the film, theatrical trailer, plus trailers for the 2 sequels, and the video game, which actually is apparently pretty good. I haven't played it in a long time. Image galleries, reversible sleeve featuring newly commissioned night and day artwork by Luke Lake Press. So we'll just open that up right now. Now, when this initially came out, when it was announced, there was initially going to be like a slipcase with this one here. When they ended up not doing the slipcase and did a slipcase for the Blu-ray because they couldn't get it done, the world was in a bit of a state at the time, then some people actually were very upset about the fact that there was no slipcase. Ooh, some people are silly. So this one here, so it's black, so it's going to have that. There's no art card in here, which is surprising actually. And there's the day version of Pitch Black right there. I prefer the night version, so I'm going to keep it on the night version. Now, I always want to make sure I get this in correctly. Dustin, man, you are the man, because this is going to be some amazing amount of watching for me to do. I will be reviewing all these. So that's 2 titles. There's one more title. And by the way, it's a biggie. Yes. The definitive edition of this film, in my not so humble opinion. And that would be David Cronenberg's Crash. This is an excellent film. Cronenberg really kicked it into gear with this one. Look at the artwork. It's amazing. This is a 4K edition of the film. This is, of course, a hard box. The booklet, the poster. There's a lot of stuff. Anyway, let's look at the special features here before we open it up. And, of course, this is Cronenberg's film based on J.G. Ballard's. I think J.G. Ballard's story, right? Yeah, highly transgressive 1973 novel. Stars James Spader, Holly Hunter, and I think Elias Koteas is in this one as well. There it is right there. 4K restoration of the uncut NC-17 version, supervised by director of photography and approved by director David Cronenberg. 4K HD Blu-ray presentation in high dynamic range, HDR, 5.1 and 2.0 stereo, DTS HD master audio, optional link subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, brand new commentary with film scholar Adrian Martin, new interviews with the director of photography, executive producer, composer Howard Shore. It's a lot of work for Cronenberg actually. Casting director Deirdre Bowen. 2019 Q&A with Cronenberg and actor Viggo Mortensen at Toronto International Film Festival. 1996 Q&A with Cronenberg and source novel writer J.G. Ballard at the National Film Theatre in London. Behind-the-scenes footage and contemporary press interviews. Architect of Pain, the Cronenberg Project, brand new essay by Callum, I'm not going to pronounce the last name, I'm not good with this, on Cronenberg's use of architecture, I'm not good with names, and location. Crash, an 18-minute short film, originally broadcast as part of the BBC Review series starring J.G. Ballard and loosely adapted from his 1970 novel, The Atrocity Exhibition. 2 short films inspired by Ballard and the novel Crash. First, we have 1986's 33-minute Nightmare Angel and Always Crashing. It's a 14-minute long one done in 2016. There was also 2 Cronenberg short films in there, The Nest from 2013 and At the Suicide of the Last Jew in the World, in the Last Cinema in the World. We have 4 minutes long one done in 2007. It also has original trailers, fully illustrated collector's booklet. I think this one around 60 pages long, featuring new writing by Vanessa Morgan, Araceli Molina, Jason Wood, and Zoe Beloff, and a reprinted excerpt from Cronenberg on Cronenberg, photo, double-sided poster, which we'll check out as well, featuring original and newly commissioned artwork. So let's open it up and check it out. So a lot of stuff there, right? Once I take out the J card, you'll get a better look at the artwork here. So let's do that right now. Let's take off. People ask if I keep the J cards. I do actually, but I don't keep them on the releases. Not normally. Say, how do you know what's on there? I'll put the discs in. I'll know that way. So let's put the J card over here for now, and we'll look at a better look at the release. So here we go. Crash. Now, people often ask me what's the difference between this one and the Criterion. Different special features. Criterion does have a commentary with director David Cronenberg. However, and people say, well, I guess then that means Criterion is more director centric than the Arrow edition. I would disagree with that because, well, look at the different stuff they got in here, like interviews with him from different festivals, just a whole ton of stuff. Cronenberg's short films, just an amazing amount of stuff. Oh, there's cards. There's actual lobby cards. I didn't know that was the thing. Okay, we'll put these in here for a second, so we won't. And I guess this was a surprise at the time. Tremors. I like the art on the because it's a unique artwork on the 4K, and it's not a 4K Blu-ray. It's a 4K, so you got to make sure you're getting this, knowing that. I'm guessing the artwork is going to be the original art. It's probably going to be the poster too, so I'll just leave it for now. But this is a gorgeous looking. This disc is gorgeous. All right, so let's check out these here cards right now. I want to make sure they're okay. Yeah, these are okay. So we got right here and on the back. I'm guessing this is what the other vertical art is, because this is the poster art. Of course, there is James Spader. All the backs will be the same. There is David Cronenberg. This is a set picture. Ah, there you go. There's Elias Koteas. Casey Jones, guys. The original Casey Jones from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And right here. So let us put that back in. And after that, what we're going to do is we are going to dive into the booklet and the poster. So let's do the poster first, because it's the next thing here. So this is a double-sided poster, so I'm assuming it's going to be the new artwork and the artwork that was on the other release. Well, the original artwork, the poster art. So here is the poster for Crash with the new artwork, and here, just as I suppose, is the artwork, is the original poster art. Now this, by the way, is the way that it that is the other side of that. This. So basically, if you turn the art around, it's going to be the original artwork. Now this we got to be a bit more careful with, because there's always the bit of nudity. This is Crash, by the way. So here's the front cover, and here's the back with the iconic poster art. Okay. Cast here: James Spader, Holly Hunter, Elias Koteas, Deborah Kara Unger, Rosanna Arquette, Peter MacNeil, Cheryl Schwartz. Produced and directed by David Cronenberg. Written by David Cronenberg, based on the book by J.G. Ballard. On here we got there's the different articles, and that is Crash, Cronenberg and Ballard Collide by Vanessa Morgan. Wounds, Scars, and Twisted Cars, David Cronenberg and Crash. Extract from Cronenberg on Cronenberg. It's on page 17. The Sinister Marriage, J.G. Ballard and the Automobile by Arcila Molina is on page 35. That was done in 2020. Most of these were written in 2020. Speed, Violence, and Desire, Crash by Jason Wood on page 41. And Nightmare Angel by Zoe Beloff on page 47. About the Restoration on page 46. As you can see, there's a... Looks like we got an interview here. Let's see who they're interviewing. So it's like they're interviewing Cronenberg. There you go. Cronenberg on Cronenberg. So it's going to be an interview with Cronenberg by Cronenberg. So you can see that there. Some stuff let's look at the Restoration. I can't show you that. There's a bit of nudity close to it. So presented in its original aspect ratio is 1:6:6 with 5.1 sound. Restoration was produced by the Recorded Picture Company and Turbine Media Group. Restoration was completed LSP Median Original 35mm camera negative was scanned, and the film was restored in 4K resolution, HDR10 and SDR color grading was supervised by the director of photography. So actually, that's pretty cool. So you want to stuff that you want to know, and some incredible. I want to see some incredible work here. Actually, I'm really looking forward to reading this. Get some good cool David Bowie music. But it is. There's a picture I can show you. There's Elias Cotes there. Crash, Cronenberg, and Ballard collide. So needless to say, I'm so excited about all three of these releases, because all three of these films are films that I think belong in everybody's collection. Especially if you're a Cronenberg fan, like Crash, this should probably already be in your collection. I know there's going to be people that are going to swear by the Criterion edition, and that's fantastic. I would get it down the road for the commentary, but for me, this is a definitive edition of Crash right here that I'm holding in my hand. The actual 4K restoration that is like looked over by the director of photography. That to me is just all kinds of amazing. So Crash in 4K, Criterion, so you should have done it. Pitch Black, Vin Diesel in 4K with the short film Dark Fury, by the way, the animated one. I think it's around 15 minutes long, something like that. And a ton of features. By the way, these are filled with features. And also filled with features, and I'm probably going to watch this before I actually do my video tonight. I kind of want to watch the documentary of Flies and Maggots on here, because I really do love that stuff. It's phenomenon. And for those that are going to probably ask me, are these things region locked? Well, if you got a 4K, then unless you're buying it from Shout Factory and you got to look, then both Pitch Black and Crash are going to be region free because they're 4K discs, and 4Ks are almost always region free. If they're not region free, that's kind of a shady thing. Now, Phenomenon, Dared Jones Phenomenon will be region locked. It's a region B release, so know that before going in. This is for those that get confused with the limited edition that came out earlier. This includes a 116-minute Italian cut of the film with English audio, though. Much different than some earlier releases that were done. So it will not include the 110 or the 83-minute version, but it will include what I consider the definitive version of this film. Once more, Dustin, thank you so much. I am so excited about this, and get more Arrow in my catalog, in my library, and just more Arrow 4Ks especially. I'm really working on trying to get all their 4Ks. They just have such good 4K releases out there. I need to, I think the next one that I really need to grab is the Battle Royale. That'll be the next one to get. Anyway, my name is Aaron, and thank you for coming in for my special unveiling and looking at some really cool Arrow releases. So we got some Arrow 4Ks there, which hopefully if you don't have, you'll look into picking up. And once again, this video is sponsored by Dustin, because without him, this would not be made. I will see you soon, right here in the Call to Cinema.